Hello everyone, my name is Fumi Adewale and I'm going to be building a basic Windows 8 grid app in this video. The app I'll be working on is called My School and I'll be using Visual Studio 2013 Ultimate in this throughout this video. So first things first, we're going to set up a new project. If you look on this tab, it already has a new project, but just in case it doesn't, you can go to File, then New, and you set up a new project. So here we go to Visual C#, Windows Store, and then as I said, we're building a basic grid app. So we just want to rename that. I said it was called My School, so we just changed the name over there to My School. So it creates a new project for us and it opens it up. So it opens up a solution. If you look over here, it's a new solution in Windows 8.1. It has a bunch of files. We'll take a look at this closely later. The first thing that opened up was app.xaml.cs. So this is just if you want to look through this code. What happens with this is what Visual Studio does for us. It actually just creates a template app for us. So actually the first thing I'm going to do, sorry, forgive me, is I'm just going to run this so that you see how the app looks without us touching it. So it's, as I said, it's a template. So this is how the app, no logo of course, and then My School as I named it. It has group titles and the item numbers, group titles, different group titles. We can scroll across. It has no color and no logos, nothing. So this is just the template. So we're going to edit this template and hopefully come out with our final result. I hope you're just as excited as I am. Yeah, so I'm going to stop debugging over there, stop button. If you noticed, My School was one word. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually open the app.xaml page, and this opens up and this has the app name. So right here it has the string, which is the app name. So if I put a space to that, I just want to see, you'll see. Now I'm just going to run it again. Now it's changed. It has the space in between. So we want the app to be called My School. So that's great. We've changed that. First thing. What I like about programming like this is that as you change things, you see it in the layout. You see your change being made immediately, and that's really nice. So okay, next up I'm going to import the assets for this. So the assets are basically the picture. So right now if you look at it, when we run it, it has a dark gray tile, a light gray tile, logo, generic logo, things like that. We don't want this to have this to be in our app, of course, so I'm just going to import that. So I actually have a file in my pictures. I'm not going to show you my pictures. Okay, so we're going to import the assets. So there's a folder here called My School, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag and drop this into the assets folder, and it should populate that. Yep, My School, it's all there. So actually I'm just going to, forgive me, bring this all out, everything from My School. I'm going to bring this all out and actually just drag it directly to the assets folder. That's just a personal choice. I don't want it like that, so you could leave it like that. It just means that the file extension will be longer, so I'm just going to delete this. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is, you can see, okay, so now in the school app, we're going to have a list of departments. I have a few there, and we're going to have lecture halls, we're going to have libraries, and what happens is we have this data model and sample data.json. This is our JSON file, and this is where all the data is stored. So we use something called Databinding to link these pictures and all this information to the pages, so that we don't have to type each thing out one by one. So we actually just bind a section. I'll show you this in a second, but we bind a section in into in our app to another thing. Okay, so as I said, we have the sample.data.json. I've opened this up, and I don't know if you noticed this, but when we ran it earlier, we had group 1, group title 1, group item 1, stuff like that. And okay, I'm just going to do a little experiment. We need to be very, very careful when we edit this, because whatever you edit here ultimately changes what you have in your app, and code is really sensitive. Sometimes putting a comma could make a difference, and putting a bracket, an extra bracket or a full stop. So as I said, we have three different items that were 3 different group items. So departments, lecture halls, and libraries. So that means we don't actually need to have the rest of them. Okay, so we run it again. I'll show you. Okay, so look, we have group title 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We don't want 6 because, you know, we want 3 things just for this little demo, for this little video. So I'm going to actually delete everything in 4, 5, and 6. As I said, I have to be really careful, because if I'm not careful, I end up shooting myself in the foot. So I'm deleting everything. So that's 5, item 5, and then item 6. Okay, that's great. So I'm just going to run it. Okay, and also of course I take off the comma because there's nothing after that. Hope that made sense. So I just saved that, and oops, stop debugging. I run it again just because I want to make sure it's not broken. Cool, it's not broken. Now we have group title 1, 2, and 3. That's fantastic. Exactly what we wanted. So now go back and stop debugging. I'm going to start making changes now. So in the group 1, if we look at our assets folder, departments, we have 4 departments, we have 5 lecture halls, and we have 3 libraries. Okay, so that means that if you look at this, okay, so I'm just going to explain this real quick. So this is group 1, this is group 2, this is group 3. In group 1, we have group 1 item 1, group 1 item 2, group 1 item 3, group 1 item 4. It's that simple. So from what we can see, group 1 here, we do not change the unique ID, because the unique ID is where it references to the rest of the code. But we'll change the title, however, because when we look here, I'll just run again to show you what we change. Yeah, group title 1, group title 2, group title 3. We have the item title 1, item subtitle 1. So this is where we make use of data binding. We change it here, and then it binds the data, you know, ultimately to somewhere else in the code. So group title 1, departments, sorry, yeah, and then I'm just going to leave everything as it is for now. So group item, remember we don't change the unique ID. So title 1, computer science, just as we have it here. I'm getting my data from here, guys. Computer science. Item 2, engineering. Item 3, we have law. And item 4, we have maths. So okay, we don't need item 5, so I'm just going to take that off like that. Remember, take off the comma because there's nothing after, so we don't need a comma. Group 2, don't change the unique ID, you change the title because that's what shows in the code. You can keep running it to check what exactly you're meant to change if you're unclear, but in the title we have lecture halls. First lecture hall is John, the next one is Michael. I don't think we have enough for this one. Oh yeah, so this is good because the next one, this is obviously just the default. We can change we can add to it, remove from it, as we've done other times. So okay, we're adding more. So remember, we need to put a comma and then start anew. So now this is unique ID. Make sure you spell everything. Like, it's very important in programming. Look, there's a capital I, small d. I need to do that. It's very important that you do things exactly as you're told to. So this will be group, just like that, group 2, item 4. And then I'm just going to copy everything we have here, just because we haven't changed it much yet. Well, we haven't changed a lot of things, so I'm just going to copy that and put that here. I'm just going to change this to item 4. Oops, I changed Peter in the wrong place, so this is actually meant to be item subtitle 3. Item subtitle 3, and I made a mistake. This is Peter. Okay, so now next one is Philip. Again, made a mistake here. It's item. I hope I haven't confused anyone. What I did was I just put it in the wrong row, and this is item 4. We close this, and then we have a comma again because we're putting in one more thing. Remember, we have Sarah that I haven't put in for a lecture hall. Again, we have the unique ID. Be very careful with your capitalization and all that. So that's group 2, item 5, and title. Careful. Title here is Sarah, and I did not put it in inverted commas. Sorry, in apostrophes, not apostrophes, quotations. I beg my pardon. So I'm going to copy it here and do that. Need to change this. This is now 5. So we don't need a comma here. I'm just going to, just for tidiness, I like to tidy up my code because it really frustrates me when code's not tidy. So bear with me for 1 second. I'm just going to tidy up my code. It just looks prettier. It's nicer to look at when you do this. It's just nicer. So just cleaning up my code, and that's all for group 2. And with group 3, we have the libraries. We changed the title, remember? Libraries. And how many? We have 3 here. So we have 1, 2, 3. Blue, green, and red. We changed the title. Of course, I'm just making this up. This is a fake school. But this is just a basic grid app, just to show you how easy it is to make an app. So I don't need all this. I don't need up to 7. I don't need all this. I'm taking this away because you can adjust it. It's just a template. So I saved that, and now I'm going to run it on a local machine. Yay! It works. We didn't break it yet. So here we changed everything. We changed has reflected here. I love it. It's departments, computer science, maths, everything we changed is now here, so it's great. So next thing I like to do is I like to add the pictures next, and that's why I imported this. It's very important to put the right to type it properly and to type it correctly the way it's been typed already. So we don't have anything for the, okay, so here is the image part. We don't have anything for the groups yet. Now look at the path. The path starts like it's pretty. So here in the assets folder, we had something called assets and then light gray, so that's what it's using for that. But if we wanted department computer science, then we simply go assets department computer science for the picture. So here assets and then departments, it has an S at the end, and then another / and exactly how it's spelled, computer science, and this is .jpg. So I'm just going to save that and just show you how that works real quick. So yeah, that changed over there, fantastic. So I'm just going to change all the rest. This is engineering, so again this is department / engineering.jpg. Forgive me. Okay, and I'm just going to change all the rest for the departments, the lecture halls, and the libraries. Okay, so great. We've changed all the names of the, well, not the names actually, I'm so sorry, the image parts. So assets, libraries, red, green, blue, we've done all that. So let's run that. Yay! So we have all our pictures come up, our departments, our lecture halls. But if we look closely at the moment, if we click on this, it has nothing. If we click on this, nothing. Anything we click, because, but at least we're getting there. Our app is starting to look nice, starting to take some shape. So we're done with the assets now. For now, we'll come back. So I'm just going to go to the, I don't know if you've noticed, people that are looking on this side, but there are these XAML pages, and I'm just going to open them up. So yes, so they let us load a designer and we can actually work while we look at how it's being changed on here. So if you see, what happens is it takes the data that we've put in our data model in the sample data.json and it just feeds it directly in here. So we have, this is the page when we go onto the screen. This is the page that we've been looking at while we've been doing our testing on this. And what happens is it takes all the information that we put into sample data.json and just changes it. I'm sure you're wondering how it does that. I'll show you in a second. So what it actually, where it does that, if you look here, it says the source should be binding to the groups. Remember, there's the group 1, group 2, group 3, so that's where the source is binding to. If we just go a bit further down, fantastic. So look, the image source is binding to the image path. So the path that we specified in sample data.json for each individual group item is what is here. And okay, uniform to fill, binding to the title. So the title, can we see the title is here as well? So, and also the subtitle is there as well. What happens, I'm sure, what happens if we take this out? It goes away. Yeah, so let's play a game. I'm just gonna write my school, and it actually changes. If you notice, I think that's pretty cool. I'll just run it so you can see that. So now the title of everything has changed to my school, and that's because of where I edited that code. So I'll just stop running and I'll just show you here. So what I did is I just changed the text to a generic text. But now, this is how data binding works. It's so cool. So there's something called IntelliSense. IntelliSense is so cool because it just knows what I'm thinking and it completes my sentences, or in this, well, sentences as the case may be here. So I'll just go back. What I did is I want to put the text in. So I'm going to do binding and type in B, and I already know what I want to put in. So binding, and I want that to bind to the title like I did before, so that everything just takes its title from the data page. everything takes its title. So that's just how the data binding there. It's quite cool. You can change the text, you can do all sorts, but it has generic things for you, but we'll probably change the text a bit later. If you look, this is when I clicked on it earlier, and okay, I'm just gonna load it, yeah. And it actually had nothing in here, so we're going to change that really soon. And this is the group detail page that we actually haven't been on yet, but we'll just go on it now just to look at how that looks. So when we click on the department, for example, yeah, that's how it shows us so far. You can see all this lorem ipsum, all these Pelandescu, Porter, I can't say what it means, but that's from the sample data. So let's just go to our sample data and let's play around. So let's go back to sample data, and I'm going to work on this very, very carefully. So group 1, the title is documents, and there's a subtitle. Let's say, so departments, I'm just going to be really silly. What departments my school has. And then the group description, we could say, just gonna leave it at so I just changed that to various departments in my school. Some are bigger, some are small. So that's the description I've chosen to put there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go through every single group and every item in every group and edit the we've already edited the title and the image path, but we're going to edit the subtitle, the description, and the content. In this case, please forgive me, I'm just going to be very generic about things, but we'll look at it a bit later. I'll show you how to change the first one, and then I'll just change the rest myself. So computer science, we'll just change. Remember always to keep the quotation marks, because we need to put everything inside the quotation marks. So computer science, the programmers, yeah, the cool people. Okay, so item description, I'll just edit this. Okay, so the description, I'm just going to take this out as well. And okay, so for example, students, please just ignore everything I'm writing. You put the appropriate description for your group item. So students passionate about computers, programming, etc. So that's what the computer science department's about. And content, I'm just going to take away this as well. Of course, stay within the quotation marks. And so we say maybe the courses they offer or something, software. Okay, so courses offered in this department. And sometimes we want to go to a new line, so there's a trick for that. This is the trick right there. This is the trick to a new line. So software engineering, say we want it line by line, I'll just information technology, another line, and maybe artificial intelligence. Okay, so let's save that and let's run it. Oh, okay, well for now it has the programmers, that's the subtitle, so at least that's come up. But it doesn't have, when you click on this, remember we haven't changed that, so we're just going to do something about that so we can see the changes that we've made. So we can continue editing this, and then when we finish editing it, we can edit the XAML page. This is that empty page that we saw, which is the item detail page. This is it right here. So I'm just going to finish editing the JSON page and putting all my information here, and then we'll move on. Okay, fantastic. So we can see here with the first item in group 1 how we edited it. So I've edited all the rest accordingly. So engineers, for engineering, students passionate about making and breaking stuff. The courses are available. Law, the lawyers. Math. Then I put the lecture halls. I just put named after engineer John Law. He doesn't really exist. I just put that. With the groups. Group title, what problems my school has, the descriptions right there. Group 2, lecture halls, where we have lectures, description, something short and sweet, different sizes for different classes. Yeah. So we have the 5 lecture halls, and then we have the libraries, subtitle, the home of books, and then list of the libraries owned by the school. I'm just going to go ahead and save that, and I'm going to run it just to make sure that we haven't broken it. Fantastic, yay! So if you look on all these, you can actually see the subtitles: maths building, art rooms, computer science labs, lecture theatres for social sciences, engineering labs. Here we can see that the blue library is the general library, green library is the science library, red library is the law library. And okay, so we haven't broken our app. That's fantastic. However, I'll just go back to that. We still haven't done anything here. So let's change that. So I said earlier, item detail page is the one we need to be talking to. Not literally. But okay, so we're going to open with Blend, open in Blend. Blend works as part of Visual Studio. If you look, so look, it's Blend for Microsoft Visual Studio. So it works side by side. It opens this up, and what I love about Blend, it lets me drag and drop things. It's just fantastic. Okay, so it's opened up in Blend, and we have an image, and I want the image to be on every page. So if we look here, we can, okay, so I want to add an image. I'm just going to go to locations, or we could actually just search. So I'm going to search image, and I want to drag and drop. So I want there to be an image right here when it comes up. So there's an image there. Right now obviously there's nothing there. Now if you remember, we had, I'll just go here, we have your title, subtitle, image path, description, and content. So that's 5 things. So far we have accounted for the title, the image path, so we still need the subtitle, the description, and the content. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a text block. Okay, I love text blocks. I'm just going to put a text block below this, and I'm just going to increase the size of this text block. Oops. Just below the image, and this text block is the text block I want to use for the subtitle. So we still have, actually I want to put the subtitle here. Oops, I'm going to move the subtitle just above the image right there. Yeah. so it's right there. And then I want to put this says text block for now, but let's just allow that. Or okay, you know what, for ease I'm just going to write that this is subtitle. You don't need to see it, don't worry, but this is subtitle. I want another text block here, and I want this text block to be for my description. Again, I'm going to edit it, description, and then finally I want a text block. I just drag and drop, by the way. So finally I want another text block for my content. Obviously I'm just playing around with this. You can design it in any way you want, you can play around, you can, you know. So this is content, and practice makes perfect. Over time you play around and you see what you like, you see what you don't like, you see the I don't want to use a normal text block, I want to use a rich text block, and you can do as you please, really. So okay, that aligns perfectly. So obviously right now we still have this blank page, but with the hopes of putting things in there. So put the image first, so let's not be rude. I'll do that first. So I right click, view source, so it takes me to where in the code this was written. IntelliSense is going to help me out here. So what I want is I'm going to put source, one second, okay, so the source isn't coming up. I'm just going to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this, and I'm going to go back to, so just save this, and I'm going to go back to my Visual Studio. Okay, so it says the file has been modified outside of the source editor. Yes, because we just modified it. So do I want to reload it? Yeah, I do. So it does that. So what we do is we come to this again, and this is exactly as we left it because we reloaded it. So click on that, and I'm going to double click, or again view source. It takes me to the line. This is the line that accounts for this block, and I'm just gonna casually, oh, it's already letting me put things in, and source, and I want it to bind this data, so binding, and I want it to bind to the image part. It's already helping me out with that. So image part, so yeah, it's already put the picture for computer science because it's put the default one first. Next, in this subtitle, I want to go to source again, and okay, it's the next line. So again, source. Oh well, this one would be okay. So actually, we don't even need to do that because already we have the text here, and you know, I changed the text to subtitle. So I'm just going to say that I want to bind it. So binding to, I want to bind this to, what do we say we're binding it to? Subtitle. Fantastic. Here I'm changing it to description. I want it to actually binding description, and then here I want it binding, oops, you see, you forget one thing and it messes up the whole thing. So content, and yay, it's made changes already, but it's too small. So I'm just going to increase the font. So font, there's font family, font size, font stretch, font style, font weight. No, I won't change the font size. I don't know what it's on now, but I'll just go for 24. Let's see. Okay, good, big enough. So let's just change that font size. I'm going to make that 28. Oh no, make it 22. And then what we can do is we can put font style, and I'm going to put this in italic. Fantastic. And over here, font size, I'm going to change this to 28, so it's nice and big. Okay, I'm going to save that, and I'm going to load this just to make sure that it's working the way we hope it's working. So I click on, and yeah, it has everything. The programmers, students passionate about computer programming. Obviously this is really bad user experience. This is really bad UX design. Here it has okay, I need to increase this because some of them are too long. Okay, so I come back to this. I'm going to stop debugging, and okay, so I just move that down, and I'm going to stretch this a bit more. I think I can move this a bit lower, and I'm going to stretch this as well just to make sure it covers everything. But this is a bit shorter, but in some things it has a longer story. So I'm going to save that. Keeps asking to reload because it has this open and blend, but I'm going to run it again. And I'm just going to be really thorough and just check that everything's working. Math, yeah, the mathematician, future careers in that one, courses are available, law, types of law, named after that, the lab, so the lab names, the math buildings, you know. Okay, so everything's working right. That's fantastic. So blue, general books, general library, author ABC. Green is author D, E, F, G. Sorry, this is just generic. This is just for me to fill the spaces, and this is all here. The H, I, J, K, all the way through to L. We click on this. We have, although we have lectures, ideally there should be a picture here, but we've left it as the default, so that's why this hasn't come up. And then again, from this you can click and just go straight through. It's fantastic. So now, if there's one thing I hope you've all noticed, it's that it has no color. It's bland, it's boring. So I'm just going to add some color to this. Okay, so we're just going to add some color. We have 3 XAML pages. These are the pages that we see in our app. So I'm just going to, first things first, this is the page that we see when we open up the app. So this is the whole grid. I'm just going to double click the background. Oops, I double clicked the wrong area. 1 second. So I'm going back to the grouped items page, and yeah, click on it. If you go here, I'm just going to expand this so you can see it. Properties. If your properties tab isn't open, you can always get properties. It's probably hanging somewhere. You just need to pin it down. And then brush. Background has no brush at the moment. So I'm just putting a solid color in, and I'm just gonna go with maybe orange, maybe, or like, yeah. Okay, so weird color, but it works. And then I'm going to go to the save that group detail page. Just put some color in for this as well. Clicked it, go to brush. I'm putting in a solid color here, and here I'll just put maybe a pink. Sorry that this school is really girly. Okay, I'll make it masculine in the next one. And our third page is okay. So we want to change the color here, and I'm just going to I don't want it black. Green, no. Maybe a purple. Oh, that's not purple, that's weird. Okay. I think this is a bit more manly. Notice this didn't change, so I'm just going to click that area, and that's ugly. Yeah. Of course, you can change the text color as well. The easiest way to do that, I would say, would be to go to view source, and then you go here, and there's something called, here you can go to, you know the way we had font size, you go to color can be changed. In the here, it goes to the text, and the text you can okay, so if you click on this, and then I'm just going to click on, so select all kind of on that, and we can actually change the color. So let's make it a bit darker. Okay, that doesn't go, so I'll just change that to another color. Save it brighter. Yeah, and yeah, you can just play around with that, change the colors. So I'm just going to make sure, as usual, that we haven't broken it. And this is our app, my school, departments, it has it all. We didn't put a picture for that. You click on this, it has that, the different colors have been put in. This has changed color just as we saw before. Everything is taking shape. The data binding allows for you to change it in one place and for it to change across the different dimensions using the group and item values. So as you've noticed, every time we run this app, it doesn't have a logo. So the number of logos that you have to change, it has a logo scale here, small logo, splash screen logo, store logo. So these are all, you design your logo and you put that on. Now there's something I haven't spoken about, but I'm just going to touch on really quick before I end this, and it's this, the package app manifest. So display name, so the name that you want it to show, for example in the store, because obviously you can link your Visual Studio with your Windows developer account, and you can upload your apps directly from here. I'll show you how in a second. So display name, I want it to look like this in the store. Description, so this is an app that showcases my school's assets. I don't know, so I just allow everything I'm writing. So this indicates the app's orientation preferences. I want it landscape, I want it portrait, I want it landscape flip, portrait flipped. I want minimum width is not set, we can leave that. Lock screen notifications, we don't have any because it's a read-only app. Obviously you can change these as you like. This is where you change the logos. For now, this is what keeps popping up. So you change, you add your logos. Remember to drag and drop into the assets folder, and in our assets folder right there. So I'm actually going to put a logo in just to show you how it looks if we changed it. And I have some logos here. I'm just going to drag and drop them in. What I've done is I've just renamed them to exactly what was named here. So it's actually going to ask me to replace. Yep. So do I want to replace that? I'm going to apply that to all items. Yes. So now, oops, we have a problem. Okay, so we have a problem. It's saying, it's putting an X on this, so we have an error there. That's probably because we changed it. So okay, it has an error on the 150 by 150, so I need to find which one is 150 by 150 pixels. Just check that really quick. Yeah, so this is 150 by 150, logo scale 100 over there. So I'm just going to put that in my assets, and it's my logo scale 100, that one. And okay, my errors are gone. I'm just going to make sure we didn't break it. Yeah, it works. So if you notice, it went really quickly, but it had a different color on the background, so I'm just going to set the background color to white. Oops. Stop that, and I'm going to run it again. Yeah, and so now everything shows up white. If you saw that, it's really quick. So that's the app manifest, and then so that's visual assets. You can put all this, you shorten it, the background color of your splash screen. You play around with this, you put any number of logos you want, really. So here's put my 50 by 51, here's put my 30 by 31, and this is so that when the user changes their different orientations, when they want it wide, when they want it square, when they want it, we take into account all these different sizes for our logos. Capabilities, okay, mine doesn't use the internet, so I'm just going to take that off. It doesn't use the webcam, it doesn't use a microphone, because it's just a read-only app. There are no declarations available. You can run through and check which ones you use. Contents URIs, just play around here and you see. Okay, so now this is the version 1.0.0, and it actually puts your publisher name and everything. It just fills it up for you straight from there. So what we can do, go to project. So this is after we've done it all. So we finished it up, finished our app. Our app is looking great. We're ready to take it to the store. My app is complete. So go to project and you go to store. There are actually a number of things. You can open a developer account. For more information on how to open a developer account, you can send me an email. I'll be happy to help you with this. You can reserve your app name, although I recommend that you reserve your app name before you start building, because then now you would have to change the name of the app and you have to change the name. It's just really long, so I recommend that you reserve the name of the app before you even start building. Acquire developer license, you can do that from here. You edit your app manifest, you already edited that. Associate your app with the store. In this way, it just updates your version numbers for you, and you don't need to worry about what version number you're on at the moment. Now, in the store, it asks you to capture screenshots, so this is something you can do as well. You can capture your screenshots from here. Now, to submit your app to the store, you need to create an app package. So if you click on the app package, it creates this app package for you. It runs it through testing, it checks that you've done it all properly, and then when it creates your app package, it actually goes as a file of .appx, and then you can just upload your app package to the store, and it's in the store. So that's basically it, and I'm really excited that I got the chance to do this video. It's my very first video my very first video. It's my target audience is actually beginner developers, not really the experienced people. The experienced people are going to think that I was just having a laugh with this. This is obviously not a quality app. From what you can see, this is not a quality app. That's pixelated, these are stretched, this is not a quality app. So this is just I just wanted to show you how easy it is to build a Windows 8 app, and hopefully you can experiment and practice, and you just learn so much more, and you learn to build Windows 8 apps, you learn to build better apps than me, and yeah, that's it. So I hope you like my video. Comments and feedback are always happily accepted. Thank you all for listening, and well, thank you for watching actually, and yeah, thank you. Bye.